All right, let's just jump right in. There's this fundamental shift happening right now, deep under the surface of the tech industry. And it's not just about, some new app or a slightly faster AI model. No, we're talking about a total rewiring of everything. I mean, from the code itself all the way up to the global balance of power. This is the story of what's being called the Agentic era. This moment where AI stops being just a tool we use and starts becoming an autonomous agent that acts for us. This tweet from Mitchell Hashimoto from last December, it really kicked off a firestorm of discussion, and man, it just perfectly captures the kind of disruption we're seeing. It's such a bold claim, and it points to a much, much bigger story than just some company rivalry. So, is OpenAI really trying to replace GitHub? It's a great question. Recent reports are saying they're building an internal alternative, but the why? Well, that's what's truly fascinating here. It kind of reveals a crack in the very foundation of how we build software, a crack that AI is about to blow wide open. So what was the spark? Well, for OpenAI, it was pretty simple. GitHub just wasn't reliable anymore. Get this, in just 1 month, they had 37 outages. 37! That's more than double their average from the year before. And for a place like OpenAI, where you've got engineers pushing code constantly, that kind of downtime is absolutely crippling. So, what do? Well, they started building their own fix. But this whole thing goes so much deeper. The crucial point here, and you really got to get this, is that this isn't just about finding a more stable closet to store your files in. It's about building a whole new foundation that's designed for AI agents, not just for human developers. The real goal is to own the layer that actually understands how all the code connects and functions, which, you guessed it, is exactly where these autonomous AI agents need to live and work. And this rewiring, it isn't stopping with just the code. Oh no, it's moving right up the stack to change the very economics of software. We're seeing this massive shift from how we write the code to how we actually make money from it. And this right here is the core financial problem that's been plaguing AI startups. Their single biggest cost, these API calls that are measured in tokens, is totally unpredictable. It's a cost center that can just explode out of nowhere. I mean, take Replit, for example. At one point, their incredible popularity drove their gross margins to negative 14%. They were literally losing money with every single new user. How do you build a business like that? And this is just a brilliant illustration of the solution. Stripe has stepped in with a new feature that completely flips the script. It lets developers automatically track all that token usage and then bill it directly to their customers with a markup. And just like that scary, unpredictable cost center, it becomes a direct, scalable revenue stream. This is basically building the financial infrastructure for a whole new economy, where AI tokens are priced just like any other commodity. So, with the foundations of code and commerce shifting under their feet, it's really no surprise that the giants of the industry are also completely reorganizing themselves. And this isn't just about launching a few new products. We're talking about them changing their very DNA to compete in this new age of AI. Just take a look at Meta. They're spinning up these new AI organizations with this really unusual flat structure. You have teams of 50 people, all reporting to a single manager. Now, a design like this is all about one thing, and one thing only: speed. By tearing down those old hierarchies and just removing layers of management, they can move at the incredible pace that AI development demands. And here's the philosophy, straight from the top. Mark Zuckerberg basically believes that AI is a massive force multiplier. What used to take a big team of people can now be done by a single, highly skilled person who's augmented by AI. This one idea is driving their entire organizational strategy. It's a huge bet. Meanwhile, over at Amazon, their motivation is all about the numbers you're seeing on this chart. A lot of people don't realize this, but Amazon has a nearly $70 billion advertising business. That's that smaller bar right next to their total revenue. And get this, it's their fastest growing division. Now just imagine plugging advanced AI agents into that engine. They're exploring exactly that, creating a whole new battleground for AI-powered ads. And of course, you've got Apple, who is fighting this war down at the silicon level. Their new M5 chips aren't just faster in general, they include specialized hardware, what they call a neural accelerator, that's built specifically to run AI tasks as efficiently as possible. It just goes to show you, this competition is happening on every single layer, right down to the physical chip. And speaking of chips, that brings us to the highest level of this whole story, because this isn't just a race between companies anymore. The fight for AI supremacy has escalated into a full-blown geopolitical contest between nations, with computing power as the ultimate prize. Okay, so this table really lays out the heart of the conflict. On one side, you have the US considering a cap of 75,000 high-end AI chips for any single customer in China. But on the other side, well, the big Chinese tech giants, think Alibaba, Tencent, they were reportedly asking for something closer to 200,000 chips each. They need that many to build out these massive AI training clusters. The gap between those two numbers, it's not just big, it's absolutely gigantic. So what does that gap actually mean in the real world? What's the impact? Well, it means that under the proposed US cap, a Chinese company could probably build a data center of about 100 megawatts. In contrast, Western AI labs are planning what they call multi-gigawatt clusters. We're talking orders of magnitude larger. This is a very direct attempt to constrain the sheer scale of AI development. Okay, so we've gone from a single software project at OpenAI to the economics of a startup, to how big tech is restructuring, all the way up to a global chip war. Let's try to connect these dots and see the clear pattern that emerges in this new agentic era. It really boils down to these four critical shifts. At the very lowest level, the platforms for code are being rebuilt for AI agents. Moving up the stack, the infrastructure for commerce is evolving to handle AI's unique costs. This, in turn, is forcing companies to restructure themselves for a world where AI drives productivity. And finally, all of this culminates in a conflict between countries over the one fundamental resource needed to power it all: compute. Every single one of these shifts is happening as we speak, and they're all deeply interconnected. It really shows that AI isn't just another feature. It's a whole new foundational layer that is literally rewriting everything from the ground up. And that leaves us with a really critical question to think about. As this new world takes shape, who gets to decide how it all works?